Air conditioning, we're on like video number 5 now with this 2013 Mazda 3. We're about to recharge it. As you can see, the refrigerant tank is hooked up through the charging hose. Right now I have the vacuum pump pulling down vacuum on the system. System was not open to the atmosphere. Original owner never recharged it. No parts were ever replaced. Complaint was just getting warmer on warmer days, not cooling like it used to. Did the visual on it, did the electronic leak detector. There was no dye in it. I put dye in it for future reference. I took out, on the recovery in the last video, I think you see I took out 350, I think it was 380 total grams out of the system. And this system should have 505 grams in the system. So we're about to recharge this. But let me show for newcomers, anybody who just came across my channel, you have your refrigerant gauges, you can read your vacuum with your micron meter, but remember, your gauges, your tools can always be a problem. So you want to identify a problem, disconnect it from the system. Let's back up our valves. So we'll back out valve number 1. We'll back up valve number 2 on the low side. So now it's not attached to the system. It's only drawing vacuum from this point on both of these through my gauges. And what can I do? I'm out here at 110 microns and dropping, and this will just keep on going down. I know what the capability of a vacuum pull on my gauges with all the seals and the connections and knobs, everywhere it could possibly leak, it could at least go below 100 microns. Another point on your, when these get old, right from that rivet, you can have a leak right there. Boom. And many of you might not develop a leak for a while. Some of you will get gauges that leak right out of the box. They'll leak from that point right there. And then you can put your little seal, the little high-low sticker back on top of that. But make sure you don't get any of this on the ceiling where it has to stick at. And that'll prevent leaks from happening through that point. So now I'm going to hook it up back to the system by depressing the valve on there. And I don't crank it down, I just feel it get tight and I stop. That's all. You don't do that. You could damage your valve. And they even say you're not supposed to go that low, but I'm so low on the vacuum I wouldn't be able to see a difference in a pressure rise. But you just need to really only go enough where you crack and open up the valve core. So we got that down. Let's close the low side off. Low side is closed. And now we're only drawing vacuum through the high side. Our refrigerant is sitting right here, and this is filled up with refrigerant sitting at this valve, ready to go into the high side. So let's zero out our gauge. I just zeroed out the gauge. We make sure the gauge works. And the gauge works, and we make sure it goes back, and it goes back to 0. So we know our gauge worked. We want 505 grams. So let's kill our vacuum, and you'll see this go back up because that's just contaminants, outgassing, rubber hoses, everything like that. But we know it was a good system in the first place, and it'll stop and it'll steady out and go no more. If you see it go up to like 34, 3,500, somewhere around there, and then steady out, you got moisture in the system. Vacuum it longer. If you see it continuously going up, you got a leak. All right, so let's put some refrigerant in here. Let's kill the... I like using the plugs because I don't want to wear out the switches. It's easier to replace a plug than it is that switch. If you leave these contacts, they never arc, they never burn, they never get high resistance, they last forever. If you keep turning a switch on and off, they wear out. This is so much easier and cheaper to repair. Okay, so you see we're steadied out. Now it's time for refrigerant. I'm gonna open this and see if I can get them both into shot one time. 1, 2, 3, open. And now we're counting the refrigerants going in. I think you could hear it. And we're waiting for 500 grams. Car's not running. It's going into high side. And I just shut it off at 495. I give it a squirt. Boom, there, 505, done. Okay, that's all it takes. 30 seconds to fill up a system. All systems take 30 seconds 60 seconds. Some bigger systems might take you 2 minutes, but if they don't take you 30 seconds or a minute, why is the question. Find your answer, remedy it, fix it, do the proper practices, and it'll take you 30 seconds too. Okay, so let's get on to start the car. It's 2013 Mazda, has 114,000 miles on it. Okay, I have the air conditioning on, I have it on high, have it on cold. Oh, I didn't put my sensors in here, but we're gonna give it a few minutes to stabilize anyway. Any of your pressures or temperatures that you take when you first start up something don't count, unless they're like way out of whack, you know, instantly 400 psi or something, or going into a negative. So without the system stabilized, this is what it's at right now. There's our suction line temperature coming out of the evaporator, suction line, liquid line coming off of the liquid off the bottom of the condenser. And let this stabilize 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll be back on the next video before I wrap it up, and I got 2 more vehicles here to do. All right, I'll see you guys.